Hello, folks. Welcome back. Today we're doing part two of the homemade wine. We're going to be racking our already fermented one. All right. So as y'all can see here, we have 10 gallons of beautiful, delicious wine. For whatever reason, this airlock here bled out, and so it's had access to oxygen. So we have 9 gallons of wine because I'm not going to drink that. But all of these have been fermenting for at this point damn near 3 months. It really doesn't need but about 2 or 3 weeks. But I've been busy with work. So we have all that wine. What we're gonna do now is rack it into these bottles, and you can use the same type of bottle. It's irrelevant, really. It's more of a personal preference. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna siphon out the wine all the way till about an inch off the bottom. And while we're gonna do that, is there's all the yeast and everything that's in there. I'll be able to show y'all really easily once we get done here. But it basically makes a cake. I believe it's called the lees, Lees, I believe. But there's a layer of nasty yeast and stuff down there. So we're gonna siphon all the way down to about a half inch. Put it in the new bottles, and then let it sit for another 2 weeks, and then we have a bunch of wine to drink. So first things first, sanitize everything. This is the only one that I'm aware of that I would recommend. I'll link it down below, but this is very, very popular for this situation. So everything has been sanitized. And so now, one by one, I'm going to fill these up. And when you're filling these up, try to fill them up as much as possible. When I filled these, I intentionally left a gap here because the fermentation causes bubbles and stuff. And you can see kind of the purple stain all the way on the top. So you need airspace on those. With these, the fermentation is already done. I'm going to leave just about that much airspace. And it's such a narrow neck, the volume of air will be very little. So let's try number one. And you want to be very, very gentle while doing this so you don't mix up that stuff that's on the bottom. So I'm opening up two because I'm only going to get like 0.9 gallons or something like that from each bottle. And this is another thing I'll link down below. It's a self-starting siphon. And then the cool part is it's got this little cap on the bottom. So it really helps you not suck straight off the bottom. We're going to put this in our bottle. Put this in gently in here. And just like that, we'll start the siphoning. Don't be greedy here. Go ahead and let some stay in the bottom. You don't want to suck all the yeast and stuff in here. You can see where I stopped siphoning on this one, and you can see about how much liquid I have in here. So I'm going to go ahead and start to siphon on this next bottle or jar and fill this bottle up. And when you're putting the wine into this other one, you want to let it go in there pretty slowly. You really want as few bubbles as possible. And I'll fill it up till about there. Whatever towels and stuff you're using, make sure they're old ones that you don't mind getting stained. All right, and then I'll show y'all what's in the bottom of this one. All right, so I don't know if you can see, I'll mix it up, all that extra yeast and stuff, and it actually makes it like a cake on the bottom. That's why we don't use just like cheap bread yeast, even though that would technically work. This better yeast, it makes a more solid cake on the bottom. That way when you go to siphon it, it doesn't get all mixed up in there. You can see, even sloshing it around, you still got a layer there on the bottom. And that's the whole point of racking, is to get all that stuff out. All right, now that I have this bottle full, it's smelling good, we still need to put an airlock on it. I'll link these down below. I like this style and this style pretty much equally. I don't really have a preference. With your star sand solution, you can use that to fill these up if that's what you want to do. I just like putting some cheap vodka in there, and that's what's going to create my airlock. So I filled it up to just under that line. I have a lid somewhere. There it goes. Bam. Popped it on there. This goes on there like so. And you want to get this in there nice and firm. Nothing crazy, but you really don't want it coming out. Put that in there. Bam. Now we are going to wait 1 to 2 weeks. I'm on PTO, so I'm waiting 1 week. In a perfect world, you'd wait about 2 weeks. Well, other than that, rinse and repeat. I think I'm going to get about 7 to 8 gallons out of the 10 gallons that I made, because one got ruined. And then, like I said, on all of them, there's going to be some leftover. So that's really it. This is a pretty quick part 2. And I'm excited to show you all part 3 coming up pretty soon, where we get to bottle it and actually drink it.